Hey guys, welcome back to another new and exciting episode on the 56 Chrysler. I'm Nick, if you're new to our channel, and if you've been following along, you'll know exactly why I'm standing here holding up this trunk lid, the boot lid. As you can see, we've got the tail light bezels fit, bumpers tucked, trim holes almost filled, and a little more metal finishing to do. And what I was just looking at is this rear reverse curve piece. Yeah, I'm okay, don't worry. All we have to do is form up a brand new piece and get it installed here to connect this bottom of the trunk lid area to the floor. What they had there was just a lot of stuff, and I didn't want to deal with that. So we got to clean this up, take the bumper off later, but what I have to do is pull a template and make a new piece. The only problem is this thing. It's in my way. This is the original length, obviously, of the trunk lid. We took the car, shortened to 10 3/4 inches back here, and this is what we have left to do. And with this in the way, I can't get to work on the reverse curve. So the most obvious thing is to just cut it in half. Unfortunately, we can't just do that. Reason why? The width up front is the original width. Nothing's changed. And the width back here, where the trunk lid kind of seals on this area, is the original width. So somehow we have to go from one width to another width in this distance while retaining all these little fan-dangled curves so that it looks factory. Like, we can chop a bunch of this out and just leave it, just have a perimeter structure, but it won't look right, and it won't have the support we need for a nice trunk lid to open and close properly. So what we're going to do is whose brilliant idea was it to turn a full-size boat into a two-door muscle car? I don't know, sometimes I wonder. Hey guys, I'm just working away here, peeling back the flanges of time. Gone all the way around this deck lid, drilled out the spot welds, using this little tool we created to roll back the flange without damaging the skin. That's the last thing we want to do. Just making sure we have an open area all the way around for the structure to jump out. Okay, I'll show you this tool first before we get into things. So it's basically a pincher that I add a little piece of angle to, sharpen this to a point, I squeeze in with the point angle on the outside, and just give it a squeeze, and it picks up the flange for me, and then I kind of work it up. And it's a gentle process all the way around. Some places it was really stuck. I think we're at a stage now where we can open it up. If you're here 2 hours, maybe 3 hours ago, I was just starting this out. You know, it takes time. You don't want to ruck it, you don't want to ruck it, ruin it and wreck it at the same time. Ruck it. We come up with the wrong words around here. You try doing this for 3 hours and not come up with your own words. I'm sure some of you would get pretty creative. Okay, let's see what happens. I might have to do it again. And this time you can watch me go all the way around. Ooh. Maybe I get myself a putty knife or a screwdriver or something, a Slim Jim, I can get in underneath. Let's use this old chisel. How about two of them? Work one against the other. I had a putty knife somewhere. Let's grab three of them. Now this one's a little sharper. It's like pulling a tire off a rim. Oop. Don't fall down. There might be a spot weld or two. You know what? I'm going to try from one end instead. See, we're kind of fighting the curvature. You can hear all the rust. Ah, there we go. In between the layers. Once we get it, it'll pop like a clamshell. I wonder if that spot weld didn't go right through to the skin. Let's do a little wiggle and see if it... Ah, that's what it was. Don't want to peel it back so much that we damage the skin. This way, all the way around. Can we borrow this guy? I just need a spacer. Normally, I don't put this much of a fight up. Yeah, that's what it is. Spot welds. Boom. There we go. Let's leave that in there. Work this around. Okay, last of the spot welds. Let's pop this apart. Come on. I thought it was going to go this time. There we go. So these rods that you're looking at, those are the torsion rods, torsion bars that spring loaded the trunk hinges in the upright position. That's what lifted the trunk lid up. Disengage them because, well, we have to either reconfigure them based on those holes here to readjust the tension, because this trunk lid is going to be about half the weight it used to be. Okay, that's one. That's two. Give the arm a break. Three. And four. Four bolts, two hinges, one deck lid. Let's close it, see what happens. That's not good. Okay, these torsion bars are definitely in our way. Sometimes I have a prop rod here. Yeah. Gonna have to take them right out. I'm gonna take some pictures as to how they go. Take a picture with my eyes by blinking. Okay. Bushing. Let's try this again. Ah, there we go. That's kind of better. We need to move back a bit. Like that. All right. Let's go for a little tour. I'm not going to even bother doing up those bolts just yet. See, none of this was ever painted from factory. We'll take care of that because we're not factory. We're factory custom. By taking out 10 3/4 inches, almost 11 inches, things have significantly changed back here. I need to study this for more than 3 seconds. See what we can do, because when we cut this apart and rejoin it, I want it to look as if nothing was ever done. Just like those bumper tips. It's easy to change things around and make it look different, but to make it look like nothing was ever done, that's the trick. To have these factory stamp holes. Yeah, we could fabricate a whole new structure, but let's work with what we have. Yeah. What do you think? Cut it right through the middle and then slide it all together and then see what overlaps, or start cutting sections out and cutting and pasting everything back together after the perimeter is joined back together. Okay. So you're sitting on your couch or whatever, and you're watching me wander back and forth from side to side, and you're thinking this guy is off his rocker. But that's what it takes to customize a custom car. It just doesn't happen in an hour on those reality shows. There's a lot of thinking that goes into something like this, as any hot rod shop would tell you. Legitimate hot rod shop. We're going to have a solenoid release, so the latch is going to be flipped around so that the latch is down here and the loop is on the upper portion. Then again, we could put the solenoid up there. Yeah, maybe, because we do have those torsion bars. You see what happens when you think about stuff? Those torsion bars were meant to lift very heavy trunk lid. And I don't know if we'll get enough on those slots in there to compensate for the lightness. So we could put the solenoid latch release all up here. I have to see if we have the latch. I don't know. If we don't have the latch, then we'll rearrange it. There's a whole lot of stuff that was missing on this car, unfortunately. Like the trim pieces that drop down from the taillights. If you look at the rear deck lids for muscle cars, they were, for the most part, short. This used to be a family sedan. Fit 8 people. 4 across the front, 4 across the back. 6 very comfortably. 8, you'd have a party. So, first cut is going to be right through here. Just kind of anywhere. Because we're going to have that overlap and we'll figure out what needs to be trimmed away when it comes together. And before you start jamming on the keyboard or punching in with your fingers, Nick, it's going to be too short. Take a look at a Mustang and imagine another foot added to the back of that. It just doesn't look right. Now, I'm not saying this is a Mustang. It's not by any means a Mustang. But we're flirting with the idea that Chrysler created a 2-door muscle car based on the 56 Chrysler Windsor platform back in the early 50s, or I guess 56. So what we have to do to kind of wrap this look up back here is shorten this trunk lid. That means cutting it there, over here, and the center. I'm thinking the center because that's the flattest area. Now we could just chop all this out and make a whole new inner web, but that's a lot of work. I'm lazy. I'm trying to find an easier way to kind of rearrange things and yet have it look factory. If we cut through there, through the center here, the center of this radius, and here, and here, we'll be able to take and slide this rear section forward. You see, the problem is we have one width up front and we have another width at the back. We took in the fins, we slid them ahead, but the main lower body quarter panel area, we took 10 3/4 inches out, and that pulled everything forward. The back remained the same, this rear window area remained the same. So we have to kind of make up that difference somewhere in the middle of this trunk lid. The skin is going to be a whole different story. I'm not wheeling up a new skin. We're going to work with what we have. But it's in pretty good shape. But here, I want to move things around in such a way that after we're done, you won't tell that we were in here. So we'll cut there, slide that ahead, cut through here, remove this, cut through here. Let's say on a diagonal like that, and like that, to maintain as much length as possible, because we can cut pieces out and do some cutting and pasting and just stick them in. I said exciting in the beginning because we get to cut more stuff up. One of the last few things to cut up. So I guess I should stop talking, grab the cut off and just take care of this. And then we'll slide it ahead, clamp it, and study it. Houston, we have a problem. It's not the battery operated type. And as they say, voila. That looks funny. Ta-da! Our job is done. Isn't that interesting? No matter how many times you try and visualize something, it all goes out the window. That's okay. See, the edges are the easy part. That'll tuck down. It's actually holding us up so we can trim a lot of that away on the sides. Look how well this section fits in. Now, we have a hinge that I don't want to touch, so we have to figure out a way of bringing this inward. Same thing over here. See how much sticks out past the skin? Perfect up there. So we'll probably do a diagonal cut through here. Blend that in. Done. The center area, we got to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to maintain that. If we cut through the middle and blend this in with that in with that, that should work. Let's see if we can get a little higher. Blend that in. Yes, no? It's close. Yeah, we'll give that a shot. See what we can do. First things first, I'm gonna get the ends pinned, and then we'll do the middle. Kind of adjust things. We could always cut out that center area and just recreate this here and have the center solid. See, the trunk matting, this held the center of the trunk lid up, so the skin didn't do this. They had some material on the underside of the trunk lid that acted as a sound deadener and as a cushion between the structure and the skin. Okay, so here's how this is going to happen. We need to blend this into that, right? So we need to take and trim some of this one away and some of this one away to make it all work together. These sides are too wide in this area, but that's perfect right there. So we're going to take and cut across here, through that little rise. I don't want to eliminate it totally because that's a stiffener for this trunk structure. Then we'll take and slice through here and pull that in. Same on the other side. Slice through there, across here, and into this radius. Then we're going to take and cut away this amount of material. And we're going to use some of that flange from this section and recreate this leg to continue that feature from here down and into, around, and back. That means we have to take and cut away that center portion completely at a point where we can blend this level in to this level here. We can't go down here because it's too deep. This is a very deep channel, and well, this height here will blend in perfectly to this if we come in on that blue line. So that'll hopefully take care of that. And then same thing on this side. Remove that corner and blend this radius up and around with a section from the center portion that we're going to remove into this leg here. Let's see how it works. It's one thing to talk about it, it's a whole other thing to do it. That didn't go too badly. Okay, let's just clamp this with a vice grip right here temporarily, so things don't keep moving around. Come on. Now, notice these marks through here. Whoever installed this deck lid, it was misaligned because it was taking the paint off. We don't want that happening. I also noticed that this curvature is greater in the center than this. Like the ends are touching, but the center's got a big gap. So we'll have to do something about that. By putting this cut in, we're going to be able to take a wedge out of here and bring these two together. This flange is lining up quite well with the one underneath. We're going to have to take and trim that back. Up here, a little miscalculation, I'm thinking. Yeah, we're going to have to create a radius in here because it's not quite joining up. I cut at the bottom of, where'd it go? I cut across the bottom of this channel, and that's where it ended up. So we're gonna have to replace that with a piece of sheet metal. Not a problem. And same thing here. I was hoping to join that together. Actually, we probably could join that together right there and then just recreate that. We're doing our work, I think I mentioned earlier, our work in the center portion of this deck lid. Not out here because this is a flatter area, easier to blend. As soon as you get into curvatures, a little more challenging. Like this is challenging already. It'll get a little more challenging. And you can see here, we have to align that, get it all to come together. Right now it's sitting up because that's shooting way too far ahead. Okay, so let me do a little more trimming, clamp things in place, and then bring you guys in and show you what's going on. I want to also increase the space at the bottom. They have bumpers, but they're missing, so we got to put those back, and there's part of one right there. And so when you close the deck lid, it doesn't chip the paint down here. This is a driver, going to be using it, throwing lawn chairs in there, whatever. And when you close and open the trunk, you don't want the paint chipping. Okay. Start off there for now. I'm cutting it a little bit long. Once we do that, then we'll see how well this comes in together. No sense fighting those corners to get this to come together just yet. We have a lot of nice little sections to pull from to replace what we need to do, like this through here. We'll put this aside for now. Nothing is garbage until we're done. That's better. Just put some alignment cuts in. I didn't want to trim any more away or hammer and dolly just yet. So just made some little slits to slide this all together. Okay, by stretching the front and the back out, we're going to drop the center. It'll help us join this together. Look at that. This gap down here, when this gets pulled back out with every new piece that we create, that's going to tighten that up. So we're okay here. The sides are good. And yeah, just the front. Okay, right now, I'm kind of chasing myself. I fix one clamp, another one moves. Even though we have it squeezed tight, it's moving around. So what I'm thinking to do is put some, you see that little bubble up there? Put a few tacks, just there, 4 tacks. And it'll help us bring other things into alignment. This area here, not sure if we can bring that together. It doesn't look like it because yeah, we will have to create a piece here. It's just the way it turned out. I didn't shortchange anything. We cut, this was from the front. See, we cut away the maximum amount we could have. If we cut any more this way, we would have been into that radius, which is kind of complicates things in the center. So that is gone. We will need that for these areas, but until I get the perimeter fixed in place, then there's no real point in doing anything else. So let me tack that, and then do some hammer and dolly work, bring things in, and then we'll perhaps start working on those. This has to go out, we have to get this media blasted. So we're gonna take a break from this once I get it aligned, opening and closing the way I want it to. And yeah, if we can stretch this leg, that'll pull it forward. That'll help us. Yeah, little things. Stretch that, fix that, but I don't want to put this into my kick shrinker because of all this rust. So we'll media blast this, and then we'll tweak it, and then continue on. All right, guys, so got this center section joined up with a piece. Got that just about finished. Trunk latch installed, and the ends joined. Just about. We do a little hammer and dolly work there to massage that. This corner is a bit high, same as that one, so we'll radius that down once we flip it over. And right now I thought I'd bring you guys in to get this piece in. So we're going to take a section off of this after we cut that material out, because as you can see, we've got a piece that kind of sticks out, and I want that flange to continue all the way down and pick up this flange here. Once that's done, then we can finish the corners from the other side and get that wrapped up. Now, rather than climb into the trunk from the back seat area, I think I could squeeze through there, but I'm not going to, because it'll be a lot easier to release the latch, unbolt the lid from the car, flip it over on the table, and finish the other side. Once that's done, then we can overlay this onto the skin, the original skin, and see how that comes in, and how much change we have to do to that, because, well, I think it's going to be pretty significant. I'm not about to wheel up a new trunk lid. There's nothing wrong with that one, but I just want to see how close we are with that. If we trim off the amount from the end, or we make a cut down the center and to remove that section in the center. We'll see. All right, so let me cut this out, and then we'll lay this in from underneath, scribe it, and tack it in. And that'll sit just about like that, except from the underside. Just like that. We're gonna butt weld that, bring it in, form it to that corner, form it to this corner, and that'll finish off this side. You have to adjust that radius because it's already starting to return in, so we'll do that right before we finish welding it, and that'll finish off this side. Then we can go ahead and get the driver's side fitted, scribed, and trimmed and installed. Well, it's a sure good thing that cars have two sides, because now we can actually do this one while the little red light's on. So here we have a piece that's oversized. See, this is all the stuff that we've cut out. See this pile here? So basically all the remnants, and we have enough here to pull what we need from to finish up these curvatures. So I'm going to make a rough indication so we can get this rolled in. Kind of like that. That's good. With it riding on the high points, you really can't get an accurate scribe. So what we're going to do is just cut most of this away. We usually run 2 pairs of snips, an old pair that's kind of worn out for rusty, dirty, whatever metal, thick steel like this, and then I got the better pair for brand new sheet metal. So that's going to sit in there just almost like that. See, we're going from one width of flange to another width of flange. I chose the piece with the larger flange because I can grind that down and blend that right into there. This corner thing has to come down. It's a bit high. No, I don't have a, yes I do, right here. Yeah, it's maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch. You don't want a high spot in your skin. Okay, that's getting closer. Aha. Let's scribe that one more time. Cut it away. So where my Sharpie line was, that's pretty much where the scribe line is. Yeah, so that's okay. Let's cut more of this away here. And let's cut on the scribe line. Let's go for it. I'll cut something 10 times, I don't care, but the 11th time when I go to fit it, it'll be too small. Isn't that the case? Now I'm leaving small tabs on the flanges so I can actually clamp them in place with my vice grips. You cut away too much, oh, that's looking good right there, almost. We can cut away a smidgen more. I can see the scratch line, so I didn't quite cut all of it away. Come on. The problem with when snips get worn out is they start to splay apart as you try to cut it. And I can tighten this, but that just binds things up. I can sharpen it. It doesn't seem to last very long. These have little serrations, so I'll just get a new pair and, you know, move on. I don't throw them out. You sometimes repurpose them for other reasons or other applications. All right. Now, the best way to get this in place is going to be the tack and kind of form to the trunk lid method. So we're going to tack the corner. Wow, look, it's staying put. So you cut something precisely and it's going to sit there by itself. You don't need clamps. What I want to do is tack the corner right there, bring this in, and then bring that material that's in this area up to wherever I can. Around here, we're going to have to form this piece we were creating. I'll probably bump that and it'll fall down in such a way that it blends in, but I'll do that when the trunk lid is off the car because it's from the underside I can't see. And here, you see how much the flange sticks out past? Yeah, it's gonna move back a bit, but it's still wide, so we'll take and trim that back. And that's gonna blend in just like that side there. Get that right in there and just tack the corner. That's the paint burning off from the underside. That's not too bad at all. Okay guys, moment of truth. Let's see if we can release the latch, release this latch here, and see what happens with this deck lid, trunk lid structure. It might surprise us and do what it needs to do and open up properly the first time, or things could spring and we'll have to make adjustments to make it fit this opening. Like down here I mentioned that this is off right here. This bottom panel has to come out, so we'll probably tackle that next and get that in. Before we do any more with the structure with the skin, because I don't want to fit the skin to the structure in the wrong position. So the body surround has to be fitted all the way around first, then you dial your structure in to that. Okay, that's not in the way. I guess we could throw this in the garbage. I don't see any more corners we got to fill or do or repair anywhere. So that's it. From all this, we got that. Or should I say from all that, we got this. I like the ladder better. Okay, well, it didn't move. Got a tack here. That clamp kept sliding off. Some of the old spot welds. Well, that is a welcome surprise. I like surprises like that. You saw what happened when I cut the front? She dropped right back down, and the bumpers, whatever's left of them, are sitting on half of the edge of this trunk lid area. When that comes out, it'll be sitting all the way. This front gap, I set it there, cut this down to half of what it was. So we had almost 3/4 of an inch there. That's all been pushed ahead, all looking good. Let's see if this opens. Holy smokes. Yeah, we have a little bit of paint to clean up on the underside, metal finish it, and all that fun stuff. But I think this is the funnest part of all. Open, closed, open, closed, open. Something's binding, yeah. So, right now we don't have the torsion bars installed on this deck lid. I'm thinking if we do, this will work great as a catapult. Those torsion bars, we might have to relocate where they engage with these brackets because they're meant for a larger family size, big boat trunk lid. And now we've given it a performance trunk lid. Cut the weight almost in half and give it a sportier look in the back. I'm curious to see how this is going to interact with the skin. It won't take long to do. I did pull out a sheet of 20 for this piece, laid it out, so that's just about ready to go. I'm going to throw the skin on top of that sheet and we'll lay this in and see how it looks. So this is the old template. I'm done with it, I think, for now. I'm not going to throw it out. Might put it up on the wall. Okay. So this is the trunk skin. At the same time we get that part blasted, we'll blast the perimeter or blast this whole trunk lid, well, the inside, because the outside's been stripped already. I was really surprised at the condition of the skin, like except for a little bit around the bottom where the flange actually got rusted away. The rest of it's great. So gonna have to repair that. I'm just curious to see how much we're gonna have to. I'm sure you guys are looking around at the car and seeing that there's a lot of stuff happening all at the same time. Trunk lid, bumpers, door, you know. They say multiple projects lead to multiple successes. Oh boy. This is just for fun. I'm not going to be cutting anything yet. Snap that in. Need a putty knife or something. Just trying to get this hem to jump over. Oh, there we go. And just as I suspected, what would you guys do? And cleaning this up doesn't count. I'm looking at the skin. How do we deal with that? Do we cut a section out of the center and weld almost 6 feet of skin, hammer and dolly, all that awesome stuff? Or, put in the comments the part after or. I know what I would do. And we're going to leave this episode off at this point. It's a lot lighter than it used to be. And I guess the safest place for this is right there. As for you, you're going to the back of the truck. Ooh, see, that's not good.